opened into it like a window. Thrusting out our heads, we saw an unbroken wall both above and below. Half a mile away was its opposite side. Over this pit was a misty sky, and not more than 1,000 feet above, and black against the heavens, was the lip of it, the cornices of this chasm within the city. Far, far beneath us we watched the hordes throw themselves across the abyss in webs of curving arches and girder straight bridges. Gigantic we knew these spans must be, yet dwarfed to slender footways by distance. Over them moved hurrying companies. From them came flashings, glitterings, prismatic, sun-golden, plutonic scarlets, molten blues, javelins of colored light piercing upward from unfolded cubes and globes and pyramids, crossing them, or from busy bearers of the shining fruits of the mysterious workshops. And as they passed, the bridges swung up, coiled, and thrust themselves from sight through openings that closed behind them. Ever as they passed, close on their going, whipped out other spans, so that always across that abyss a sentient, shifting web was hung. We drew back, stared into each other's white face. Panic swept through me, in quick alternate pulse of ice and fire. For crushingly, no longer to be denied, came certainty that we were lost within the mazes of this incredible city, lost in the body of the metal monster which that city was. There was a sick despair in my heart as we turned and slowly made our way back along the sloping corridor. 100 yards, perhaps, we had gone in silence before we stopped, gazing stupidly at an opening in the wall beside us. The portal had not been there when we had passed. Of that I was certain. "It's opened since we went by," whispered Drake. We peered through it. The passage was narrow. Its pave led downward. For a moment we hesitated, the same foreboding in both our minds. And yet, among the perils that crowded in upon us, what choice had we? There could be no more danger there than here. Both ways were alive, both obedient to impulses over which we had no more control and no more way of predetermining than mice in some complex man-made trap. Furthermore, this shaft also ran downward, and although its pitch was less, it did not therefore drop as quickly toward that level we sought, and wherein lay the openings of escape into the outer valley. It fell at right angles to the corridor through which we had come. We knew that to retrace our steps now would but take us back to the forges, and thence to the hall of the cones, and the certain peril waiting for us there. We stepped into this opened way. For a little distance it ran straightly, then turned and sloped gently upward, and a little distance more we climbed. Then suddenly, not 100 yards from us, gushed out a flood of soft radiance, opalescent, filled with pearly glimmerings and rosy shadows of light. It was as though a door had opened into some world of luminescence. From it the lambent torrent poured, billowed down upon us. In its wake came music, if music, the mighty harmonies, the sonorous chords, the crystalline themes, and the linked chaplet of notes that were like spiralings of tiny golden star-bells could be named. Toward source of light and sound we moved. Nor could we have halted nor withdrawn had we willed. The radiance drew us to it as the sun the water drop, and irresistibly the sweet, unearthly music called. Closer we came. It was a narrow alcove, from which sound and light poured. Into it we crept, and went no further. We peered into a vast and columnless vault, a limitless temple of light, High up in it, strewn manifold, danced and shone soft orbs like tender suns. No pale gilt luminaries of frozen rays were these. Effulgent, jubilant, they flamed, orbs red as wine of rubies that Jinns of Alsharez press from his enchanted vineyards of jewels, twin orbs rosy white as breasts of pampered Babylonian maids, orbs of pulsing opalescences, and orbs of the murmuring green of bursting buds of spring, crocus orbs and orbs of royal coral, suns that throbbed with singing rays of wedded rose and pearl, and of sapphires and topazes amorous, orbs born of cool virginal dawns, and of imperial sunsets, and orbs that were the tuliped fruit of mating rainbows of fire. They danced, these countless aureoles. They swung and threaded in radiant choral patterns, in linked harmonies of light. And as they danced, their gay rays caressed and bathed myriads of the metal folk open beneath them, under the rays of the jewel fires of disk and star and cross, leapt and pulsed and danced to the same bright rhythm. We sought the source of the music, a tremendous thing of shimmering crystal pipes, like some colossal organ. Out of the radiance around it great flames gathered, shook into sight, with streamings and pennonings, in bannerays and bandrols, leapt upon the crystal pipes and merged within them. And as the pipes drank them, the flames changed into sound. Throbbing bass viols of roaring vernal winds, diapasons of waterfall and torrents, these had been flames of emerald, flaming trumpetings of desire that had been great streamers of scarlet, rose flames that had dissolved into echoes of fulfillment, diamond burgeonings that melted into silver symphonies like mist and tangled Pleiades transmuted into melodies, chameleon harmonies to which the strange suns danced. And now I saw, realizing with a clutch of indescribable awe, with a sense of inexplicable profanation, the secret of this ensorcelled chamber. Within every pulsing rose of irised fire that was the heart of a disk, from every rubrous clipped rose of a cross, and from every rayed purple petaling of a star, there nestled a tiny disk, a tiny cross, a tiny star, luminous and symboled, even as those that cradled them. The metal babes building like crystals from hearts of radiance beneath the play of jocund orbs. Incredible blossomings of crystal and of metal whose lullabies and cradle songs were singing symphonies of flame. It was the birth chamber of the city, the womb of the metal monster. Abruptly the walls of the niche sparkled out, the glittering eye-points regarding us with a most disquieting suggestion of sentinels who, slumbering, had been caught unaware, and now, awakening, challenged us. Swiftly the niche closed, so swiftly that barely had we time to spring over its threshold into the corridor. The corridor was awake, alive. The power darted out, gripped us, up it swept us, and on, far away a square of light appeared, grew quickly larger. Framed in it was the amethystine burning of the great ring that girdled the encircling cliffs. I turned my head. Behind us the corridor was closing. Now the opening was so close that through it I could see the vast panorama of the valley. The wall behind us touched us, pushed us on. We thrust ourselves against it despairingly, as well might flies have tried to press back a moving mountain. Resistingly, inexorably, we were pressed forward. Now we cowered within a yard-deep niche. Now we trembled upon a foot-wide ledge. Shuddering, gasping, we glared down the sheer drop of the city's wall. the smooth and glimmering